What we're doing today, we're factorising. And as you know, factorising means putting in the brackets. We started that last lesson. But we're going to be factorising a quadratic expression. Now, that's one of these things that we were getting when we multiplied a pair of brackets. So let's just start off with what we've got on the left hand. Rachel, if you could just mute, please. So we'll just start off with what's on the left hand side, because I want to remind you of this process, because what we're about to do today is completely the opposite process. So when we were expanding and simplifying, we do the x times the x to get x squared, then x times the plus 4 to get plus 4x. I'm just going to change colour for the other two clauses so it doesn't get too confusing. Then we did the plus 3 times the x to get plus 3x. Then we did plus 3 times the plus 4 to get plus 12. So that was expanding. That was getting rid of the brackets. And then we simplified. We gathered up these middle terms to get x squared plus 7x plus 12. Now, this is what is a quadratic expression. A quadratic expression has some x squareds in it. So where it says a quadratic expression at the top, that is what that is. And there's a bit of a lag. Let's just wait for it to catch up. And I've also got a sneeze coming, I think. Oh, no, it's gone. So what we need to do, we need to be able to do the opposite process. So what we need to learn to do is what's over on the right hand side. So our starting point will be the x squared plus 7x plus 12. That will be the question, and we will be asked to factorize it. Now you've just got to learn that where you've got some x squareds and you've got some x's and you've got some normal numbers, when you factorize it, when you go and add the brackets, that what you end up with is a pair of brackets. Okay, because remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to find out a way to get back to the x plus 3, x plus 4. That's going to be our answer. So we need to find a way of working out the x plus 3 and the x plus 4. Now, all the ones we're going to do in second form, the first couple of components are always just going to be an x and an x, because x times x gives us the x squared. So all of these you're going to be doing on today's worksheet. Just go and pop in an x and pop in an x. And what we need to do, we need to go and find a way to go and work out what I call the two magic numbers. How do we work out the number that goes there? And how do we work out the number that goes there? So I'm just doing in purple. There's a bit of a lag. So how do we work out those two numbers? Now, we know for this particular question, we're trying to figure out the numbers plus 3 and plus 4 that are over on the left-hand side. How do we work out that our magic numbers are going to be plus 3 and plus 4? Now, if we were in school, we would spend a bit of a time exploring how to do this, and I would give you a great big A3 worksheet, and I would hope that you would, through me prompting you, we'd be able to explore how we work out those two magic numbers. But given the circumstances, I think it's easier if I just tell you how we do it, and then at a later date we can explore why. Now, our two magic numbers, they have to multiply to be the chap on the end. So I want you to get used to circling that number on the end and writing down somewhere that our two magic numbers, when we multiply them together, we get 12. So this is the one that they have to multiply to become. Just learn that. So always do the multiplying one first. Our two magic numbers are going to multiply to be 12. Now, at the same time, the other criteria they have to satisfy, when you add these two magic numbers together, you have to get the number that is in front of the x. So on this occasion, that is 7. So you've got to say to yourself, which two magic numbers on the one hand, when I multiply them, do I get 12? But on the other hand, when I add them, I get 7. And the reason we go and put the multiplying one first is there aren't many ways you can multiply whole numbers and get 12. You can have 1 times 12. Yeah, 1 times 12 is 12, but they don't add up to be 7. Okay, so 1 times 12, yes, that equals 12, but when I add them, I get 13. I don't get 7. So that's not my so my magic numbers aren't 1 and 12. What about 2 and 6? Well, 2 times 6 is 12, tick, but 2 add 6 is 8. That's not 7. So my magic numbers aren't 2 and 6. Okay, so just because there's a lag, I'm just going to repeat what I just said. I'm going through in my head the various ways I can multiply to get 12, that bit in red. So 1 times 12 or 2 times 6 are the ones I've done so far. So they both multiply to be 12. But when I add those two potential magic numbers together, I don't get 7. However, what about 3 and 4? When I multiply 3 and 4, I do indeed get 12. And when I add 3 and 4, I do indeed get 7. So my magic numbers are 3 and 4. They are plus 3 and plus 4, which is what we knew they were going to be from over on the left-hand side. Now, it doesn't matter if when you write in your answer, you'd written in the first bracket x plus 4 and in the second bracket x plus 3. It doesn't matter which way round you write them. You've just got to get the magic numbers 3 and 4. So the big learning point today, guys, is that our two magic numbers, when we multiply them, they have to be the chap on the end. That would be the 12. But when we add these numbers together, they've got to be the coefficient of x. They've got to be that plus 7. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to model 3 more. And then you may be able to follow it. You may be able to keep up. You might not be able to keep up. But what I will then do, I will leave the next 3 on the board. And then you can keep referring back to them when you're trying to answer the worksheet questions. So let's have a look at these here. So I'm going to do the one on the left first of all. I know my final answer is going to be a pair of brackets and they are x and x. Do you know what? I might do all 3 at the same time. I know with that middle one, my final answer will be a pair of brackets x and x, and the one on the left, pair of brackets, on the right rather, x and x. Now, I need to work out those two magic numbers, and they multiply to be the chap on the end. So that's plus 15. On the second one, they've got to multiply to be the plus 6. And on the third one, they've got to multiply to be the plus 20. So that's the first condition my two magic numbers have to be. And then my second condition, when I add them, they have to be the coefficient of x, the number in front of the x. So with that first example, they've got to be plus 8. On the second example, my magic numbers have to add to be plus 5. And on that third example, they've got to add to be the plus 9. And I want you all, please, to be writing as a side working this bit in red and green. Okay? Don't want you doing it all in your head, because when you look back, you won't remember what the hell you've done. So that is the question you are posing to yourself. What two numbers, with the one on the left, on the one hand multiply to be 15, but on the other hand they add to become 8. So I go through in my mind, how can I get 15 when I times two numbers together? Well, I could have 1 times 15, but 1 add 15 isn't 8. So I think again, how else can I get 15 when I multiply? Well, I've got 3 and 5. Now 3 times 5, it is 15, and 3 add 5 is 8. So I've discovered my two magic numbers. They're plus 3 and plus 5. Moving over to the middle one. What two numbers multiply to be 6 but add to be 5? That's 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 is indeed 6, yet 2 add 3 is indeed 5. They multiply to be 6, they add to be 5, so my magic numbers are +2 and +3. And just to repeat, it doesn't matter if you've gone and written x plus 3, x plus 2, that's still correct. And then my third one on the right, what magic numbers multiply to be 20 yet add to be 9? That's 4 and 5, because 4 times 5 is 20, yet 4 add 5 equals 9. So it's +4 and +5. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to leave this slide on the board for a while, because it will take you a while to get into the flow of these. I will at some point go and share my screen and help you, but I want you